Every thriving human body is an ecosystem, and like any physical environment, it relies entirely on a steady flow of incoming water to survive. But raw water supplies often carry dangerous, invisible stowaways. These are enteric pathogens, which are simply tiny, disease-causing bugs that infect the gastrointestinal tract and threaten to destabilize our entire biological system from the inside. For generations, people living in rural communities solved this environmental problem by drawing and carrying their daily water in traditional metallic pots. The copper vessel became the standard for household water storage, acting as the primary line of defense. Because this practice is so closely linked to gut health today, it raises a biological question. Do these pots actively add beneficial bacteria to the water, or are they doing something entirely different? Examining this ancient habit forces us to rethink how we actually defend our internal gut bugs from external microscopic threats. Since drinking from copper is known to support digestion, a common modern assumption is that the metal somehow seeds the water with healthy, living microbes. But the metal creates zero new life. A copper pot does not act as a probiotic. Instead, the vessel functions as a physical sanitation process. The metallic walls of the pot passively go to work on the stored water through a natural germ-killing mechanism called oligodynamic action. Copper's positive electrical charges latch on to the negative charges on the bacterial cell wall, physically pulling the membrane until it violently ruptures. Trace copper particles then flood inside, creating destructive chemical bubbles that chew up the microbe's DNA until the cell collapses completely. The entire system works by eliminating threats to secure the supply line. It acts as an upstream sanitation facility, neutralizing dangerous stomach bugs long before they ever reach your mouth. Modern laboratory testing allows us to measure exactly how fast this ancient sanitation workforce cleans contaminated water. This chart shows clearance holding times for copper, silver, and brass against severe bugs like E. coli. Copper vessels completely destroy these dangerous pathogens in exactly 4 hours. By contrast, silver and brass pots require 8 to 24 hours to achieve similar purity. Traditional household water storage requires a biologically verified holding period. Giving the copper those 4 hours yields measurable, life-saving outcomes for public safety. Once the sanitized water leaves the external pot, it finally travels downstream into the human gut. The primary biological benefit here is simple. Because unwanted bacteria were intercepted miles away, our delicate internal ecosystem remains perfectly balanced and undisturbed. There is also a secondary structural benefit. As the water digests, our intestines absorb tiny amounts of the cleaned trace copper to physically fortify the gut barrier. These trace elements serve as spark plugs, activating essential repair enzymes that lock our intestinal cells together, keeping the biological city walls tight and resilient against daily wear and tear. This biological balance requires strict precision. If we consume massive doses of copper, the heavy metals bypass that wall, overwhelm the cellular machinery, and kill the friendly bacterial residents living inside us. The low, steady exposure from a daily water vessel provides exactly the right amount of structural support. Ancient water storage is a preventative filtration system. It eliminates microbial threats on the outside, ensuring our complex internal world stays safe on the inside.